Well, how did Jesus face this kind of suffering, this kind of hell? Well, suffering occurs when our circumstances don't meet our desires. What Jesus does is he acknowledges that his desires in life can only truly be met in God. Okay, Jesus doesn't change his desires. He simply realizes that any desire we may have in this life will only truly be realized, fulfilled, satisfied in God. Let me explain what I mean. So in his book, Mere Christianity, now this is the second best book ever written after the Bible. If you've never read Mere Christianity, go and get it. But in his book, Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis says this in his chapter on hope. He says, creatures, that's you and I, among others, creatures are not born with desires unless satisfaction for those desires exist. All right, he says a baby feels hungry. Well, there's such a thing as food. A duckling wants to swim. Well, there's such a thing as water. Man feels sexual desire. Well, there's such a thing as sex. But, he says, if I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is I was made for another world. See, what Lewis is saying is none of our desires in this world are ever truly satisfied. And he says the reason earthly pleasures, whether they be for food or sex or money or popularity, the reason earthly pleasures cannot satisfy our desires fully is not because the universe is a fraud. It's because, and I'm quoting here, earthly pleasures were never meant to satisfy it. They were only ever meant to arouse it and suggest the real thing. The real thing is, of course, heaven, where we get to commune with God. And this is how Jesus faces his suffering. He says, look, I know my deepest desires cannot be met in this world. And so what I'm going to do, God, is I'm going to put my desires in your hands. And the way he does that, the way he puts his desires in God's hands, is by trusting God's word. He obeys the Father, even if it looks foolish to do so.